to get all these wins has been a great thing. To be 9-2, to be where we are right now, and to be honest with you, fighting for first place in our division and really in the NFC is a great thing to be. And the great thing is we're playing great football. The great thing is we can play even better, and that's the scary part. That's the scary part for the NFL, and I think the great thing for us.
Go Hawks.
Go
Russell
Hawks.
Wilson, 9-2, 6-0 on the road, and as we mentioned earlier in the program, the first quarterback in the 100-year history of the NFL to have 8 straight winning seasons to start his career. Okay. Sunday statement time. Trivia question to determine first pick.
Yeah.
The Patriots moved to 10-1 yesterday with their win over the Cowboys. New England has now won at least 10 games in 17 straight seasons,
Insane.
breaking the all-time record. Whose record did the Patriots break?
10 wins.
10 wins
Yep.
for 16 straight years was the prior record. Who had that record? 16 years of 10 straight wins.
I'm going to go with the Oakland Raiders.
You are incorrect, although that's a good guess because
Right?
in the 70s.
Yeah, and then into the early 80s.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I was on there.
49ers, 1983 through 1998.
Yeah.
10 or more wins every season.
Damn.
That
I didn't think of
is
that
amazing.
one. That would have been, yeah.
All right.
That was kind of obvious, actually.
Get the first. Hey, you know what?
What?
We call it Sunday statement.
Yeah.
And the biggest statement of the day was made by Jerry Jones because he made it clear.
He made a statement.
He made a hell of a statement after the Patriots beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
This is not good enough. The talent is there.
Yep.
The coaching is not. Special teams is a reflection of coaching. Well, we have these frustrations, and coaching is going to have. There's going to be issues from time to time. I'm frustrated too often. Jerry Jones, as they head into their annual Thanksgiving game, the 8-3 Bills coming to town, I feel like that was a clear warning shot at Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
They got a game this Thursday. They got a game next Thursday. And I want to see if Jerry Jones is calmed down by the time he's on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas on Tuesday morning. Because as Shereen Williams of PFT pointed out to me last night, if he's not calmed down by tomorrow, it really is serious for Jason Garrett. And it may be he doesn't even make it to the end of the season.
I'm betting he's not calmed down. I'm betting he's not. Yeah, I think he's had enough. I think that's why he kind of came out that strong. And, I know we've talked about it a lot, but he has every right to be, I always err on favoring coaches and everything like that. The Jones family has done everything money-wise, draft pick-wise to make that team, special. And they have special players. So for them to be sitting here at 6-5, it is not good. It's really not. Like I said earlier in the show, I don't know if there's a Sunday this year they haven't walked on the field where they're not the better, more talented team on the field. And that's just got to be disheartening to him. And yesterday, there again, it was there to be had to won. And, he made all the statements about that. So that's a good pick by you. That was certainly one of my top 2. I think my other one goes with the obvious one from last night, the San Francisco 49ers. They made a statement. I think people thought...
You going broad again?
Well, yeah, I am.
You're because not narrow it, not pick on offense, defense, player,
I'm going the whole San Francisco
Kyle
49er
Shanahan,
team. Because
good friend.
I was shocked at how many people thought that just the Green Bay Packers were going to win the game yesterday. I was. Just even in the pregame shows, and I watched, and I just went, man, everyone's just going with... it's Jimmy Garoppolo versus Aaron Rodgers, and we're just going to pick that. I know, and it's easy to fall in that trap. I fall in that trap every now and then, too, and I get mad at myself when I do it. But, the basic matter at hand is the 49ers are one of the best offensive teams in football. They're arguably the best defensive team in football. The Packers' defense is in the bottom 5 or 6 in football, and the offense is really just average and has a quarterback that's great that makes it sometimes look a little bit better than average. But the 49ers were dominant. That was a steamroll session on both sides of the football, and really at first wasn't like their best on offense. They could kind of play it conservative, though, because I think they thought, wow, I don't know if Green Bay can move the ball on us all game. And as they got in a rhythm, and this was really the end of the game, the great play call and design by Kyle Shanahan, the big pass to George Kittle on that little corner post, and that was kind of night-night for the Packers.
But you still stick with the entire 49ers organization.
Yes, I do.
No limitations. You put the fans into
Jed York, I'm going all of them, all right? Yes.
Kyle Shanahan had an interesting comment after the game. He told Peter King it was a backhanded slap at Daniel Snyder, that basically when they were struggling in 2017, 2018, he didn't have to worry about the owner saying, you need to put this guy in, you need to take this guy out.
Yeah.
Like they did when he was in D.C. I mean, that was the implication.
Sure.
Jed York didn't try to do that and has let this all percolate. Remember after last year, there was talk about Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch aren't on the same page, and are they on the hot seat, and how much more time do they have? And it has all fallen together, and it is a testament to patience.
Yeah.
Be patient. There's some other teams like the Lions. There's speculation now that maybe Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn don't get another year. Patience.
Hey, no doubt.
It can all fall together like that.
49ers would have been a playoff team last year if Jimmy Garoppolo didn't get hurt. I mean, that's really the way it is. They just got unlucky. And, that was the only thing that kind of hurt them there, where they would have been a pain in the butt for teams last year, but they just had some below-average quarterback play.
All right, next one for me, and I'm not a big fan of this guy because of the whole bounty thing and because he threw guys like John Vilma under the bus when it was time to give testimony. But Greg Williams.
Yeah.
What he did to John Gruden, master of offense, to hold that team to 3 points. Yes, the Jets overall had a great day, and it's great to see Sam Darnold playing well, and the mono is a distant memory, and the calls for Adam Gase's head have subsided. But Greg Williams putting that defense together, and there's a little history with Johnny Gruden and Greggy Williams.
Well, I feel like, it's a good battle where, and John Gruden, I feel like, has gotten the best of them a lot. And, Williams has, yes, an aggressive defense. They blitz is a pain in the butt to prepare for. And, I kind of said, I think last week, I was like, I think Greg Williams has gotten his butt beat a little bit by John. He's going to have something in store for him this week, and he certainly did.
Probably a few F words evaporating into the ether as those two guys looked at each other across the field. I know some fun with lip reading yesterday with John Gruden. My goodness, hide the children, because you don't need the audio. You can tell what John Gruden is saying, and it is not Happy Thanksgiving.
No, definitely not. I mean, yes, he was pissed off, certainly. Hey, they got the short stick on a few bad calls. They dropped some passes. I'll say what Tony Dungy said, actually, while we were watching the game. He goes, this looks like a California team, playing in a Northeast cold weather game that just doesn't want to be there. And that's what it did look like. They were like, oh, gosh, it's 38 degrees and rainy, and what the hell is this? And they did not show up to play, and the Jets were, the tougher, more physical football team on the field yesterday. There's no doubt about that. All right, I'm going to go with the quadruplets in Cleveland, okay, as the Sunday statement. And that's Odell, Jarvis, Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, really the stars of the show there in Cleveland. But, I think it is the first time all year where it's clicked for all of them together. Mostly it's been more Jarvis than Odell. Yesterday we had a lot of Odell and Jarvis and Nick Chubb, and Baker Mayfield played a pretty clean game, other than that interception to start the second half that set up a score for the Miami Dolphins. But Baker was on his game, and this game was like never in doubt. They came out, controlled the game from the get-go. Cleveland Browns are a handful. They are. I don't care who you are. They pose some problems for you because of the talent of those guys we have just mentioned, and their defense with Steve Wilks is no joke either. Now, it hurts that Myles Garrett went off on Crazyville on that Thursday night football game, but they played really well yesterday and really left no doubt that, hey, Miami, you're not coming in here and going to steal one on us.
Yeah, and look, this is what a potential playoff team does. It does not trip and fall over a team that it should be.
Yeah, clearly better.
There were some games earlier this year where you could argue that the Browns tripped and fell over teams they should have beaten, whether it's the Broncos, whether it's the Jets. But I like what the Browns did. Yep. And really, as Tony Dungy said yesterday, it comes down. It's almost an elimination game next week between the Browns and the Steelers.
Yep.
And there's going to be so much talk about what happened with Myles Garrett and Rudolph. It's maybe better for the Steelers. Maybe the decision to bench Mason Rudolph for Devlin Hodges was the best decision Mike Tomlin made from the standpoint of taking some of the heat out of what's to come, because now Garrett won't play and Rudolph won't play. And I thought it was funny. Yeah. I know it's supposed to be about the Browns, but Sheldon Richardson of the Browns said yesterday they want Rudolph to play. Did you see him the last game? That was his quote.
Right.
All right, next one for me, the Seattle Seahawks defense. Yeah. That's as broad as I'm going to allow myself to be. But Jadeveon Clowney was out, right? So that great performance we saw against the 49ers, maybe they won't be able to duplicate it. We can knock the Eagles for not having healthy players. We can knock Carson Wentz for not having a good day. One of the reasons he didn't have a good day, he was constantly harassed.
Yeah.
The Seahawks defense, which was a liability post-Legion of Boom, and they're building this team around Russell Wilson, and so it's going to be driven by the offense. The offense wasn't great yesterday.
Right.
The defense is the reason they win that game. If that defense doesn't step up, 17 points is not enough to beat the Eagles in Philadelphia.
No, you're right. The offense missed some opportunities to really control the game and put it away, but that's what's jumped out to me about Seattle the last few games, or the last 2 games especially. The defensive line starting to take over, and that's what they need, because we've talked a lot about their secondary not being as good as years past. They need that front four, which they have a lot of assets invested into. And you're right, Jadeveon Clowney not being out there, and for them still to have that disruptive performance. I think they forced 3 fumbles on Carson Wentz, 2 interceptions. They were dominant, and the Seahawks defense is looking like the defense of old. I wanted to go with maybe like Bill Belichick and the special teams. You kind of hit the Cowboys already, so I'm just going to try to change it up, because he did make a statement there. I think I'm going to go with Mike Tomlin making a statement. I am. Again, that was a gutsy move to finally, pull the trigger.
Acknowledge the obvious. That takes a lot of guts to acknowledge the obvious.
I don't know necessarily that.
Hey, Mike, you got a ketchup stain on your shirt.
Well, to me, what I always wonder in these situations too is he, are you being trumped by the front office because of, we drafted Mason Rudolph in the first 3 rounds of the draft and we want him in there? So at times you get stuck in with guys where, maybe the coaching staff wanted Devlin Hodges, but the rest of the organization is saying, no, we want Mason Rudolph in there because we've invested a high pick on him. But either way, that was a gutsy decision by him and the right decision. They were down 7-3 at halftime, and Mason Rudolph was pitiful, like you said, on Thursday night against the Browns, and Devlin Hodges at least gives them the threat of a downfield and intermediate pass game. He led them to 13 points in the second half, and the Pittsburgh Steelers don't need a ton of offense. They just need a little. They're one of those teams right now, if you just go, man, if we can get to 17 or 20, we can beat about anybody. I mean, that's the way they're playing on the defensive side of the ball. They have a dominant front four. The linebackers are awesome. The secondary is very good to go along with it. They're creative, and they're a pain in the butt. And they just need a quarterback that can take what's there to be had from time to time.
All right, let's recap the Sunday Statement draft before we take our last break of the program. Simms has the 49ers, the entire organization, including ownership, front office, fans, ticket managers, etc. The Browns quadruplets, Mike Tomlin. I've got Jerry Jones, Greg Williams, and the Seahawks defense. We'll get you ready for Monday Night Football. It should be a great one. 52 weeks to the day since Chiefs-Rams. It's Ravens-Rams. Could be a good one. We'll get you ready for it right after this.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.